thank you all for attending today's iMindQ webinar, which will be focused on advanced uses of flowcharts and concept maps. Today, my colleague Mimi will be taking you through how to visualize a business model with a concept map, how to create a balanced score sheet, and then how to present that score sheet with iMindQ.
Hi from me too. As my colleague Boyan said, first of all, at the beginning, I'm going to show to you during this webinar how to create, how to visualize your business model with the use of concept maps. Last webinar, I explained to you how you can connect nodes and how you can create floating topics, connect those nodes and add relationships and label those relationships between these two nodes. So I have prepared a template for name my company's business model with separate parts. And this is an example of Osterwelder's business model canvas, and is very used for visualizing the business model of a company. As to start, I'm going to create a floating topic right here on an empty map space, maybe where the placeholder is, or with double click in an empty map space. For today's webinar, I will use a rectangular shape of the floating topic. To change the shape, I would go to the topic format ribbon, and from the shapes library, I'm going to choose a rectangular shape. I'll change all the formattings. I have to extend the ribbon. I'll use Verdana. I'm going to change the size. I'm going to delete this text. Again, I'll go to the topic format ribbon to change the width of the border. To do that, in the line group, I have a drop-down menu with predefined options for border width. I'll choose 1.5 points, and I'm going to enlarge it a little bit. And in order to be able to create this size of a floating topic and all over again, for this map, I'll select the topic, and on my right side, in the bottom, there is a style panel. Click on it, and in another webinar, I'll explain in more details how you can change the map style of a document. With the purpose of saving the style of this floating topic, I'll choose floating topic styles, and this is the first level of the floating topic. As my selection is, I'm going to select the topic with the desired format, and from the drop-down menu, I'll choose update style to match selection. I made this with the purpose of anytime I click on an empty map space, a new floating topic will be created with this same style. So in the partners network, I'll add this floating topic, and I'm going to use my automatic alignment option to align it to be in the middle of this template, and I'm going to write down partners network. For better viewing, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to continue adding each node in each part where it belongs to. In the core capabilities belong the key activities nodes and key resources. So I'm going to add those notes here too. With the same purpose, I'm going to copy it, create new floating topics. In the value propositions, the node offers belongs to, in the customer relationships, and in the distribution channels, I'll add the names, appropriate names. For customer relationships, it'll be a customer relationship node. And I'm going to copy this same, paste it over here, align it, change the name. And I'll put the cursor in between and make it in 2 rows. In the customer segments, I'll add a note with the same name. I'm going to align the topics. As you can see, at the bottom of this business model is the cost structure and revenue flows. In these appropriate parts, I'll add the adequate notes called cost structure. And I'm going to copy it, this note, paste it here for a faster visualization, and I'm going to write down the revenue flows. This is connected with a note called success or failure. And I'm going to show you how all notes are connected with each other in order for you to be able to represent your company's business model. To connect each note to another one, I explained that you can add a relationship by using the quick topic menu option for the relationship. I'm going to drag and drop from my starting point a relationship. This concept map, I will need a normal angle relationship. And as you can see, there are control points that can help me resize my relationship, and also I can format this relationship. I'm going to add to the end style an arrow indicating the point where it affects the key sources. I'm going to use a straight line of the relationship, and this same formatting will be saved for the other relationships as I'm going to connect each of these nodes. The key resources are also influencing the key activities because for executing these activities. For connecting these 2 nodes, I'm going to use a straight line. As you have seen here in the example, the same formatting has been saved and applied to the relationship. So this last change of the relationship will also be affected to the next one. or saved for the next one. So I'm going to connect and the key activities note and how they affect the offers that belong in the value proposition of a business model. I can use either straight line, or for better visualization, I can use a normal angle and use my control points to navigate a little better and make a better visualization of it. Also, the partners network also affects the value propositions. I mean, the offers that a company puts on the market, whether it's service or a product. I will continue editing this relationship, move it a little bit. Also, the customer segments affect the customer relationship that the company has with each customer segment, and the customer relationship affects the final offer or what's going to be offered. So I'm going to connect also the customer relationship with the offers. Again, resize my relationship to the point where it's visually appealing. Also, the distribution channels affect the offers, and we have a different distribution channels that are different for different customer segments. So I'm going to connect these two nodes, and at the end they affect the offers, the final offers that the company has or delivers to the customers. The key resources are also a big part of the cost structure. So I'm going to connect these two nodes also. As you can see, it's very easy to manipulate. I'm going to show you later how you can format a topic. The cost structure affects the success of a company. I'm going to use a straight line here. Also, the customer segments, once they buy the product or use a certain service, they affect the revenue flows. And the revenue flows at the end define whether a company will be successful or not on the market where it distributes its products to the appropriate customer segments. So here's the final look of the company's business model. To format a topic, you can do the following. You can select the topic, and from the topic format ribbon, you can use the text and color group. In this group, there's a fill color option. If you click it, you'll see a predefined set of colors, or if you want a specific range of colors, you'll go to the more colors option and choose something else. For this topic, I'll choose an orange color. In the core capabilities, I'll use another color. Let's say yellow. In the offers, I'll use a green color. If you want to change the font color, go to the font color, either drop down menu, and I'll choose white. If you want to change the size, you can do that also. If you don't like the rectangular shapes, you can either change the shapes from this predefined shapes library, or you can go in the library panel, click on the shapes tab, and apply some of the shapes that are here, any shape you like. For the customer relationships, I'll add another color. distribution channels also. As you have seen, the last applied color has been saved in the menu. And once you click on this option, it's going to apply the same color that has been last applied. So I'm going to do it in a very quick manner. I'm going to color the other options to get the final look. Maybe use another color for this one. And at the end, success or failure. So in a very easy manner, you have visualized your company's business model by using the Osterwelder's business model canvas. And I hope you like this part. The second part of the webinar, I'm going to show you how to create a balanced scorecard using the whiteboard space. I'm going to go to the file menu, click on the new submenu, and from these categories, I'll choose whiteboard option because it's better to visualize concept maps. So a balanced scorecard, for those that don't know, is a strategic planning and management system that is used extensively in businesses and industry, governments, non-governmental organizations, in order to align business activities to the vision and strategy of the organization, also used for improving external and internal communications, and monitor organization performance against strategic goals. So I'm going to use as my central part vision and strategy node. And I'm going to put this in several rows. Maybe you can change the shape. I'll use a circle for this one. I'm not going to format these topics due to saving time. As we all know, the balanced scorecard is consisted of 4 parts. One part is learning and growth. The other is processes. The third is customer part, and the fourth financial part. I'm going to represent each of these parts with very bigger shapes. I resize the shape by using this arrow at the bottom on one of the corners. I'm gonna resize it and going to write down each of these parts so I can connect them later. The first part was learning and growth. For faster adding of these parts, I'll copy the same topic and rename it later. Make an placeholder selection in an empty space so I can copy it. And I'm going to rename this to processes. The third, as I said, will be the customer's part. And the fourth and last was financial. I'm sorry. Make the placeholder selection and use the shortcut key Ctrl-V to paste the previously copied shape. I'm going to write financial in this part. So I can align them to the vision and strategy node. I'm going to use the automatic alignment option. And I'm going to align it to this according to the center of the vision and strategy option. I'm going to put the customer's node on the left side of the balanced scorecard. The processes is on the right side. and I'm going to use the automatic alignment option again. And the last topic, I made a mistake. The financial part was on the left side and customers was the third. So all these notes are connected to the vision and strategy. So I'm going to connect the vision and strategy with each of these notes. So as you can see, it's very easy to create the balance scorecard. Each of these notes all affect each other in the steps that I explained. The learning and growth of the company or the organization affects the processes and vice versa. So I'm going to use a Bezier relationship. And in order to change the format of relationship, go to the relationship ribbon, and in the style library, we have a Bezier option. Because I said that these two parts affect each other, I'm going to use an arrow for the begin style too. So I'm going to connect each of these parts again. As I said before, you can use the control points to resize it. As I'm resizing, I'm going to mention that for each of these parts, the manager that needs to make a certain strategic decision has to add the objectives, or has to decide the objectives of each part, the measures, the targets, and the initiatives. So in order to add this, the objectives, measures, targets, and initiatives, I'm going to select each of these notes, and in the notes part, I'm going to insert a table. The notes panel can be opened on the right side, and I'm going to click on the spreadsheet option in the notes editor and use 4x4 separated with the displaying of the column headings. What is interesting in this table, I can add text to the column headings. So I'm going to use objectives here. I'm going to add measures in the second column heading. In the third column heading, I'm going to use targets. And in the fourth, I'm going to use initiatives. In order to save time, I'm just going to show you that you can also play with the formatting of the text in the notes editor. Use a larger in order to be viewed a lot better. Or you can also add a description here. I'm going to choose an example. To add additional description, go at the end of the table, and I'm going to write down that to achieve learning and growth and to achieve our vision, how we will sustain our ability to change and improve. That's what this note describes. To show you how you can visualize and make a presentation of this balanced scorecard, I'm going to open the present ribbon, open the panels. I'm going to start with the vision strategy. As you remember, the rules for creating a presentation for a concept map. The first rule was to use focus on topic. Where's the starting point? So my starting point will be on the vision and strategy note. Other rule was to choose a highlight presented sequence template scene. I'm going to select as first part of the sequence, my vision and strategy note, and using control, I'm going to select the learning growth topic, and I'm going to add them to the scenes panel by dragging and dropping, and use highlight presented sequence. I'm going to do this with the rest of the topics. I'm going to continue from learning and growth to processes. I'm going to add another highlight presented sequence. And the last part of this presentation will be to highlight the sequence of from customers to financial. And as I said, a third part of the rule for creating presentation for concept maps were to show all elements. I'm going to click the from beginning option to view the presentation that we have created. What's interesting is in the presentation view, you can click on the notes icon, and here you can show the additional description for a certain note, or you can make a mouse over that presentation. So this is everything that was planned for this webinar. There are 2 questions that have been asked. One of them is how many topics you can add in a concept map, and if there is a limit. No, there's no limit in adding topics in concept map or the whiteboard space. So it's unlimited space. And the second question was whether you can add in this topic where the learning growth, financial customers, and the processes, whether I can add the table here in the topic. Yes, I can. To do that, you can go to select the topic, go to the insert ribbon, and choose the spreadsheet option. I'm going to choose 4 by 5, and I can write down the objectives, measures, targets, and initiatives within the topic. So this is another way to visualize this. So you won't need the notes editor if this is how you like to present your balanced scorecard. I would like to thank you all for attending. I'm going to leave my colleague Boyan to close this webinar.
Hi, thank you all for attending this webinar. I hope it was helpful for the advanced users of flowcharts and concept maps. If there aren't any more questions, this webinar is coming to an end. So I'd like to thank you all for attending once again.
I would like to thank you too for attending.